Hello, Internet. Trevor Starkey here from TrevorTrove.com with day 4 of my E3 2016 predictions. That brings us up to Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, depending on which way you want to pronounce it. I'm going to go Ubisoft for ubiquitous software. So, Ubisoft always does a pretty good job of actually trying to make their conferences like a piece of entertainment in and of itself. By bringing people like Aisha Tyler out there to host and doing musical performances. Last year they had Jason Derulo, so it always ends up being a nice little breath of fresh air between the Microsoft and Sony conferences. So I imagine we'll probably get a little bit more of the same this year. So here are my 5 predictions for Ubisoft's press conference. Number 1, Michael Fassbender shows up to promote the Assassin's Creed movie. Obviously, the game. They're not doing an Assassin's Creed game this year, but I don't imagine we'll go through a year without Assassin's Creed having some kind of presence at the show. So, hot off the X-Men Apocalypse press tour, I think he'll show up and maybe talk with Aisha Tyler about how Assassin's Creed couldn't be the first good video game movie out there. So Ubisoft, if they're branching out into movies, I think this is a perfect time for them to kind of highlight it and showcase it while they've got kind of everybody's eye. So I imagine he'll kind of do a little interview, a la Lena Headey and Aaron Paul did at the Final Fantasy Uncovered event a few months back for their little Final Fantasy movie. I think we'll kind of get the same kind of interview, him talking maybe with Aisha Tyler about the movie, and then we'll probably get a scene or world premiere clip from the movie. I'm guessing the first scene between him and his female assassin co-star that you've seen kind of as far back as the very first promotional images from the movie. Number 2, Watch Dogs is the big focus of the event. Alongside a gameplay and trailer, we will hear them talking a lot about how they learned their lessons from the first game. Already, we're seeing this. We got a 20-minute kind of preview yesterday, including cinematic trailer, the official announcement, and some gameplay footage, as well as some behind-the-scenes interviews talking about what everybody learned from the first Watch Dogs game. And I think one of the big things that they learned is don't have a huge drawn-out promotional campaign. Even as one of the highest new IP launches in gaming history, a lot of people felt really burnt out by the time Watch Dogs finally hit. So announcing it yesterday, and that it's already coming out this year, come November, is already a step in the great direction for them. But yeah, I think they'll kind of give us a bit of a recap of what they announced in their 20-minute video yesterday, and I think we'll see a little bit of that, as well as kind of maybe an introduction or a better introduction to the main protagonist of the game, as well as maybe his allies and enemies that he's going to face. I think that's kind of what new components we'll see. And then I'm also kind of throwing in there a prediction that we might also see an Aisha Tyler cameo in the game. She had a little cameo in the first Watch Dogs, given her history promoting the Ubisoft conferences. I think we'll see her in this one as well. Number 3, Matt Stone and Trey Parker show up again to show off a little bit of the South Park: The Fractured But Whole game, and they announced a release window of 2017. One of the great surprises of last year's conference was when they came out and showed a trailer for this follow-up to The Stick of Truth. They had gone on record very much saying that their direct involvement in that game, as it transferred from studio to studio, really kind of took a lot out of them, so they weren't anticipating revisiting video games anytime soon. So seeing them at last year's conference so soon after The Stick of Truth and all of those statements, coming out with a new game that's going to maybe switch up the kind of aesthetic from fantasy RPG to superheroes. Definitely had a lot of people like myself, fans of the first game, very excited. So I think we haven't seen much from them since. So I imagine they'll come back out They're probably a little gun shy given that they had to delay the last game a lot, so I think pitching, they're not going to pitch a firm date, but saying 2017 probably gives them a wide enough window that they can hit for sometime next year. Number 4, Ubisoft will reveal 2 new IPs. One AAA title that's going to have some kind of cinematic or gameplay trailer associated with it, probably highlighting multiplayer gameplay, and another using the UbiArt engine. In recent years, Ubisoft has more than most embraced showcasing new IP at their conferences. You had games like Watch Dogs and For Honor, so I imagine that trend's going to continue this year, and we haven't really seen too much in the way of multiplayer gaming from them. So I think that's probably a target that they're going to try and capitalize on coming in the next year or two. And then additionally, some of Ubisoft's most critically acclaimed projects in recent years have been games like Child of Light or Valiant Hearts: The Great War, both developed by smaller teams, both using that UbiArt engine. So I think we'll kind of get a new game in that vein announced and showcased at the conference. Probably that one will probably be released later this year, whereas the AAA title probably next year, or maybe even 2018. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and say Just Dance 2017 gets announced, and features a performance by Meghan Trainor singing No, because why not? I had Jason Derulo last year. That's about all up to that one. That's what I got. I just pie in the sky, Meghan Trainor out there singing No, no, no. My name is No. My number is No. Should be a good time. It'll be better than that. So, those are my 5 predictions for Ubisoft's conference. Potentially a very star-studded one if any of them come true. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what your predictions are, and we will find out if any of us are right come Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks again. Talk to you later. Pulling a Tom Hawkins here.